You may be first, you may be second, that doesn't matter. How you appear, how you explain yourself, that is how your self-confidence will be displayed through the body language in simple way. Because interview is nothing but a communication between two people, right? So self-confidence can be shown through the communication what you make. Right attitude, I am not talking here about positive attitude, I am not talking about here negative attitude. What I am talking about your right attitude, that's it. If I ask you the question like how many years do you will stay with our organization during interviews, to this question somebody will say, sir, I will stay for 5 years, 10 years with your organization, just to impress the interviewer, which is totally wrong. Like, you cannot say like this, so you cannot make him, right? So there are so many things to guess the right attitude. A live example which I can give you, everyone has seen the Three Idiots interview scene, everyone has seen, I hope, maybe. So when that person goes for the interview and the interviewer asks them to change his attitude, do you remember that thing? So when he goes and interviewer expects that he might change his attitude, but he doesn't. That is what in interview is actually needed. So if you are having your attitude, you have to show it, but this should not go with a negative attitude. That's what I am telling you. You have to have a right attitude. So when you have a right attitude, nothing can stop you with the, and provided that everything is getting added to this. So what? You have qualification first, fine. You have self-confidence, and after self-confidence you are having a right attitude. The next is creativeness. Creativeness, that means innovativeness. When I speak, there should be a creativeness in my speech. When I talk, there should be creativeness. When you introduce yourself, there should be a creativeness. Alright. How many of you about LinkedIn site? That I don't know. I have put it at the end of the site like source of information. So before some months, there was one resume on LinkedIn site which was flashing everywhere across the world. Why? Because it was for its creativity. Nobody ever had thought, okay, my resume could be that much creativity. What that person has done, the person was having 10 years of work experience and he was having some post graduation. He's not from India, he's from somewhere else. So what he has done, he has converted his entire resume into a graph, right? He has made a graph, and every point of time achievement he has put the year, and pictures, he has put pictures into that. Suppose he has gone to Symbiosis College, so he has put a Symbiosis College image, and he has put, suppose 2005 he completed Symbiosis College degree, so on a graph he put 2005 Symbiosis. If you go to some, he has done any kind of course, so course at what year he has completed, he put the course and then he put the certification of that course, like the scan copy of the image. See, creativeness has no limitations, trust me. But even if you have a little bit creativeness, still that is acceptable. A person with having 0% of creativeness will end up working the clerical work, that is fine. So trust me, you have to have your creativeness all the time, and interviewer will judge it by asking you the question. It's very simple, right? So whenever you are in an interview, never ever try to understand, or never ever have this thing in your mind that I know better than him. Maybe here it is true, maybe everyone here may be knowing better than me, I accept to the point, but never ever have this thing in your mind, like you are sitting in front of an interviewer and he's asking question and you are telling that ye to mere ko pehle se pata hai. So if you tell like that, or if even if your body language shows that, you are rejected. Alright. And why? Because of experience he knows you. He is not some god. He is not someone who has come up from some different place. Only difference between you and him is that he knows better than you, because he meets 100 people like you every day, and you are one of them today. Alright, so that is the reason you have to always remember that wherever you go to an interview in any part of the world in your further life, you have to respect the interviewer. That's it. That is the only point I can tell you. And you have to respond, you have to ask properly by having all those things, by having right attitudes. Creativeness. Readiness is something that if I ask you, okay, now your job location will be in Tamil Nadu, so will you go? You start thinking, because nobody has ever told you that thing. Okay, whenever you are in an interview, you should never oppose to the location. They might not send you, but they want you to understand. But if you say no, that means at that point of time only you are making a negative impression of yourself. So location should always be yes. Like, and when you talk about the IT companies, they will ask you two questions. Our shift is night shift, like it will start from 8:30 to morning 5:30. Tell me how many are ready. Half of the people start wondering, how can I work for the entire night shift? But not necessarily they will give you night shift. They want your readiness there. Alright, so whenever you are in an interview, ask to the experts. That's simple what I am telling you. That is not a point to ask. There you cannot ask. Alright, that's the final. So earlier, when you know that my interview is scheduled on this particular date or venue, you go and ask the expert, then that person will tell you how to answer. So readiness should always be there in terms of location. Sometimes there is a tricky question of salaries. What if we don't pay you salary? Will you still work for us? So that is a question. Now see, that company that decide terms and conditions. So it happens, bond everyone knows. Like there is a bond, like if I ask you, like I will select you if you sign a 2 years bond of 2 lakhs of rupees. Now a person who is meagerly getting 10,000 rupees job, and if you ask him to sign a bond of 2 lakhs of rupees, 100 times he will think, why should I sign the bond? Alright, display. So every time he will think, what will happen? So what we have talked till now on the terms, anybody can tell me what we are talking about? Inter plus view. Can you revise what I am talking about?
Readiness.
Readiness, yes. What are the upside qualities what we have talked about? Required skills. Yes. First line. Full. Right attitude, and then we talked about commitment and knowledge. Commitment is just I talked about the bond. See, not necessarily I am going to have a signing a bond, but you should at least ready to sign a bond with me. Why? Because it shows your commitment. Okay, yes, I will not leave this job at least for this much year. And that is how your career goals are. You cannot keep like hoping when you become a say job hopper. No other company will even ask you for the interview. Trust me, if you completed graduation in 2020 and 2020 to 2021 you have changed for suppose 3-4 jobs with the same salary, and in 2021 you are applying for somewhere else, the first question, the most negative impression is that you have changed 4 jobs in the last year. What was the reason? Whatever may be the reason, even if it is real, the new interviewers will not believe you, trust me. So whatever your jobs are, first at initial point of time you don't have to care about how much salary I am getting. At initial 2 to 3 years you have to understand, like stick to a topmost company even if salary is low, try to gain the experience, and afterwards it is a fact, like after 3 years if you are changing your job, like first job working with topmost MNC, you will end up something around double the salaries, and it is the fact, it is a proven track which we already know. Last is knowledge. Without knowledge nobody will stand you in front of you. That is very simple. This is the only criteria which differs person A from person B. There are crores of people in this country, but knowledge is one thing, it is very rare, right? And I am talking about, as you can see, creativeness and all those things. So we have to combine all those things. So if somebody is having a creative knowledge, that person will always go to the top of his career.